We are chalking because a man went to jail for chalking on the sidewalk. And a very bad police officer also went to jail.
You too can chalk America.
That's right, free Eric Brandt. Because chalk on the sidewalk is not the same as raping people with a badge on. And so we're out today talking about freeing Eric Brandt. Chalk America.
Fuck the police, man.
Fuck the police. Have a nice day, man. That's right. We're outside the Corner Bakery. 245 people have died in the streets of Denver due to the epidemic we call homelessness. Businesses on the 16th Street Mall have helped to encourage this trend by making laws that criminalize people for having a sleeping bag. Police officers claim authority to take private property in the cold of night at 3 a.m. That is essentially attempted murder. When advocates speak out against these atrocities,
I'm trying and I can't understand a word you're saying because as you turn, your voice echoes and your projection changes directions. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. 245 dead in the streets of Denver due to the epidemic we call homelessness. 23,000 children have no home but go to school in the city of Denver. So that's what's going on, folks. We're downtown Denver talking about the issues of homelessness in the city of Denver. The fact that there are 23,000 children That's nice.
23,000 children without homes in Denver, Colorado. You remember that?
Fantastic.
Yep. All right. That's right. All right. Maybe the camera, roll the window down. Fucking thing. Caught some attention.
It did catch some attention.
Look at that. Oh, it's wonderful, isn't it?
I'm sure everybody that comes down here would love to read that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when you got tyrants and pieces of shit out here running the streets with guns and badges, hell yeah, they would love to see that.
Yeah.
Doesn't stop you from editing yours, though. This is live, so it won't be edited.
I'm sorry?
Do you want to converse? Have a good conversation?
I'm just out here to do some chalk.
Right.
So, yeah.
Because it's obvious your issues are with the police.
Our issues are with bad police.
I'd be more than happy to talk to you.
What do you guys think? Should we talk?
Today, sir.
Let's ask the questions. Should we have a conversation? 23,000 running scanner if anything comes across. So I don't know what the conversation should be about today. I'm just here making a video as part of a thing that's going on right now because in the city of Denver, we have 23,000 children who go to school but have no homes. We have large crises where people are dying in the streets. Over 245 people have died in the city of Denver this year, and we're not solving the problems. When we have 4 or 5 or 6 police officers who are surrounding a man sleeping, sitting on a bench.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
This guy can't solve the problem?
The way and the methodologies of policing can make differences. Yeah. Yeah.
From my knowledge, he's just gonna protect and serve.
Yeah.
And you. That's all he can do, right?
No, it's not all we can do. We can feed people. We can call for the businesses.
He's a law enforcement.
He walked up to he walked up to me and engaged in me.
His job, protect and serve.
He walked up to me and engaged me. I didn't come up to him.
Again, my question was, obviously
Okay.
you have an issue with the police.
Do you see me with yellow chalk in my hands?
But I'd be more than happy
Do you see me with yellow chalk in my hands?
conversation with you if that's what you want.
Do you see yellow chalk in my hands?
Sir, I can tell you rode over there and that other gentleman was with you on
Okay.
camera.
I didn't.
I have no doubt that you share the same sentiments he does.
I actually have written about the
You
children.
are more than welcome to your opinion. What I'm saying is, if you have an issue with the police, I'm more than happy to talk to you.
I didn't write anything or say anything about the police. I have a.
You don't agree with that?
I think that the word bad is missing from that sentence. My brother-in-law is a police officer, and so I know that there are good apples in the basket, right? It's bad apples that spoil the bunch, and that's generally a consistent sentiment. But you know, for me, just having a conversation, now we have 5 people with guns walking around me, and I gotta be safe because we don't want the bus to hit me. Okay. So,
somebody was using a needle on the ball,
which is a good thing to be policing against, right? Drug addiction is a problem in the city, which often ties to homelessness because people struggling just to even not care about the fact they don't have food or that it's freezing cold and they're outside in a blanket, right? Again, that's not a sentiment that I wrote. I think bad is important. If you'd like, I can come add that in there, but I don't know. You guys' side of the street seems a little bit more crowded right now.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
We are going to stick with one another.
Right.
We do.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you. Out of these 23,000 children with no home, how come I don't see them down here?
That's a good question.
How come I don't see them in Civic Center Park?
I just saw some of them not too long ago, a couple blocks down the street.
Well, and this is where I would argue, make the argument that one thing the state does is they do take care of children that would be considered homeless.
Right, I know. I mean, there's a big issue and a big discussion that we got to be involved in, right? I think that free condoms should be, anybody who's semen is potential ability to be used should have access. Women their ovaries should be protected from having children. They're going to end up on the streets because they're raised in a setting where they're abused and unwanted, and that doesn't give them the positive strength and motivation to be healthy in their lives and their mental health to get out there and do something. So, the corner bakery is one of those businesses that has said, hey, we won't hire the homeless, right? If you don't have a cell phone, it doesn't matter what your situation is. We'll give bread to the shelter, but we're not putting those people to work, right? We're not going to be an active part in the conversation of solutions. And so they're a target of businesses and videos around the world, or around the country right now, actually. People are making videos and protesting at different businesses that are not engaging when they're kindly communicated with. So I know, and I'm engaging in a nice conversation because the man that we're out here on behalf of, recognized you as the cooler head. So,
where did your friend go?
So he's serving 90 days in jail.
Who's that?
Eric.
Oh, Eric.
While the officer that arrested him for chalking raped a woman and is also serving 90 days in jail. So the penalty for this kind of activity is akin to raping somebody in some counties in the metro community.
Where's Eric?
He's in Adams County currently. Yeah. So I really have other things to do today. It's First Friday and a busy day. I promised though that I was going to make a Chalk America video for my viewers. Gotcha. And the Corner Bakery, by the way, guys, is a business that has a history of selling food to people and then telling them that they can't stay and eat it and use the bathrooms. And that's what got them targeted to Occupy's continuous protest. Right?
I know you guys have been down here since last
Yeah.
Play on Sundays.
It works out really well though, because people are up for their end of their weekend tourist spending. Gets them to think about what's going on. Feeding people on a Sunday morning is a very well protected, faith-based activity as well. And while everybody may not line up on those beliefs or decisions, I like it because it's my way of being the hands and feet of Christ in the world today, right? So I definitely have a problem, and I don't need a card, but can you give us your name and badge number?
I'll just give you a card.
I'm okay. Can I?
The gentleman that wrote that, if he wants to come back and talk to me,
Yeah.
and at any point have a conversation, I'm more than willing to have a conversation
Okay.
with him.
So, you know, I like the conversation into things.
Because that's an extreme view, and I am more than willing to try to help change somebody's view if I can.
So, like I watched 6 officers yesterday. I was downtown at Union Station for at least, see, I got there at 5:31. I just missed my train coming from the A line, and I think it was like an 45-minute video, right? The guy was already in handcuffs. They got some red scanner to uncuff the cuffs now or something. They couldn't get that to work. There were 6 officers there. Went to the facility this morning to show up and see what his bond was going to be or whatever, right? Because they hauled him away in handcuffs, right? He was never put into the system. He's missing. We don't know what happened to him. He was never arrested, although he was hauled off in cuffs, right? And the time it took, he was already in handcuffs, waiting for his bus, right? With a bus ticket. At least that was his story. We didn't get to a court of law to figure out what happened, right? So whether it was the camera that changed his situation, where he was dropped off at a different bus stop and get home kind of thing, whether it's the use of resources.
Yes, sir, that'll work.
Taking blankets from the homeless. So my people are very concerned about the blanket situation. So on Sunday we were here having a conversation, and the guy was in a park that was unposted, and or he alleges, again, I haven't been to that park, I haven't seen it, but the allegation is that a guy was in a park. He was given about 10 minutes. The cops left and came back, and he wasn't gone in 10 minutes, so he spent 18 days in jail, okay, for sleeping in a park after 11 o'clock, right?
Now, let me ask you a question. Does that sound legit? That he would give you 2 days in jail for sleeping? Or do you think you're maybe more important?
There's probably, I'm coming from the educated, I have a bachelor's degree, I'm an educated human being. I believe that that there was probably some more things that were going on, right? The reality is that that the question still stands, though, that when we look at the big picture, right, it was more than $15 a minute for the wages of all these officers, people hanging around this one guy, right, for over half an hour trying to get cuffs off of him, doing the paperwork, for falling asleep while waiting for the bus. It was probably more likely that kind of story because he didn't talk to a magistrate at the detention facility this morning, and I was there to verify that he wasn't there, okay? That the sheriffs didn't have him in their system. That kind of use of resources ridiculously would have paid for a hotel room for a night, okay? But bigger picture and daily, hourly, factored scale. Because we feed, because we engage in these conversations with people, we're having mindsets, right? The election's in May, right? We're gonna vote as a community. Are we doing it right, right? That's what the question essentially is. If people don't have a right to have a campground, a place to stay, if they get moved along. I mean, remember, I lived here when women slept outside the Mint with the bathrooms open 24 hours a day. We knew that was a safe place for people, right? Sometimes people come and guard it extra, right? So what happened when the law changed and women started getting raped more, right? It was our decisions. Now it's my faith-based actions to come and speak out about it and to talk about homeless people and to talk about the over 245 people who are dead this year in the streets of Denver due to disease we call homelessness, right? It's an epidemic in this country, right? Now, my use of resources, your use of resources, we'd be a lot better off helping people by having better mental health scenarios, giving them a good night's sleep, giving them the job skills or the mental health relationships that they need to have these conversations, okay? But this doesn't get it done, right? It's not getting it done enough. We've been doing this for 6 years.
Yeah, the difficult part is your conversation with me or police officers in general.
Yeah?
We don't make those laws.
But you choose to enforce them.
No, there's no choice involved.
There is. Your oath is to the Constitution of the United States of America. That is your oath. Are you an oath keeper?
If it were that easy.
Are you an oath keeper?
Absolutely.
Okay, so your first answer is to the Supreme Court decisions that based on the Constitution, not a city ordinance.
Yeah, it doesn't work that well.
Okay, well that's what happens, and that's why we have 3 levels of the system, right? And so the judicial system also plays a role, and why we have to be out here with cameras watching people who allege that they make trespassing, because that's Darren, folks. For those of you who the corner bakery now has cameras installed because this guy couldn't do a legal trespass. He couldn't call a police officer over with a human being and say, this person is trespassed. We need to fill out a legal document so that they are formally trespassed in a court of law, right? And that's what you're going to testify to in not too long of a future, because you falsified documents, evidence in a court of law. Okay? I want to make sure you're aware of that.
Just real quick, what was your first name?
I didn't give it.
Oh, do you mind if
I'm practicing.
Okay.
So.
Fine. Anyway, it was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure. You know what?
Anytime you come talk to me,
fine. I'm Brian. Brian, it was a nice conversation. What was it?
It was a nice conversation, absolutely. And again, anytime you want to talk, you come talk to me.
All right.
That's why I'm here. Okay?
Yeah.
You can vent to me anytime.
You're a lot more level-headed than Guzman, right? But I have one more thing I do have to say, because we have evidence, by the way, folks, that hold on, they're chatting up here. Invite them out to hand out food and talk on Sunday. So that's the point I was getting to. If you really want to have conversations, come have conversations on Sunday in an educated adult manner, unlike Chavez, Guzman, right? People who go off the wall, right? Because what we're out here doing is having those conversations, right? It's my constitutional right. It's my responsibility to say when something's not right. That's how this country was founded, right? People who said, I'm a human being and I have more rights, right? Don't know who you king sitting up in your seat are. The problem is our society has gotten so big that just a couple blocks over, people forget how to talk to the people who sit in those seats, right? So I get it. You have choices though, right? When we were over here last week and 3 officers for 1 person sitting on the ground, right? 2 EMTs, a truck of firefighters. It's so many resources for each individual human being each time. And if we took what we spent in a year and transitioned to the solutions instead of the Band-Aids, we'd be a lot farther along in society in this community. So I didn't write that. I don't have yellow chalk, okay? I was in the process of making some statements, but I think we've made a big enough statement.
Yeah, I saw your buddy was the one writing it. I watched him as I walked up. That's why I wanted, more or less, wanted to talk to him. So, why you have that view, and is there any way that maybe I can have an impact on him?
So
as far as what spurs that?
Sundays spur that. This man has watched Guzman and Chavez act a fool, incite federal lawsuits against the city of Denver, right? Kitchens and the other clan making false arrests, security guards making false trespass statements without following legal process. Right? I mean, it can't be all cops. There's a song called Mrs. Officer for a reason. Josh, have a great day. But you see, folks, I can laugh, I can be joyous, and I can be happy. But the truth of the matter is that there are 243 children who have no homes. And we have 245 dead. (2018). So folks, we're gonna leave 245 dead in 2018. Homelessness. 2,300 children with no home. And that's our friend Darren. And look, see, he's gotta have reinforcements. We've got cameras and we really don't care. We'll do business. Thanks, AK, I appreciate it. But see, we're gonna put this monkey on the stand not too long from now. And that's gonna be a lot of fun. 3 separate cases he gets to come testify at, folks. Federal lawsuits included. So here we are, folks. We're downtown Denver, 16th Street Mall. Thank you very much, Eastern PA Watch. This is the Corner Bakery, a national franchise which has a history of kicking people out of the restaurant before they are allowed to eat. So we're gonna watch them wash the Chalk America up. It's fine. We've done our video for posterity. We'll hang out here for a little bit as they do that. It's a shame. Good. Nah, he should go home. I want Pikes Peak to get home. That's all I care about from him. Look at, they're washing around the body line. They can cop splain. They're cocksuckers, right? Cop suckers. That's what they say. He wants to be a badass and walk up close to me. Ooh, I'm scared. They can't wash it away, folks. Blood and the stains are real. 245 dead due to homelessness in the city of Denver. Corner Bakery, a national franchise. We call you to have a conversation with us. City of Denver's got a right to do better, folks. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your energy. You guys have a great day.